Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the What's the Big Deal podcast. I have a guest today, Lane Mullenix,
Hello.
aka my mother. We are going to be doing our first Thoughtless Thursday episode, and we are
Mm,
going to be doing a true crime episode.
mm.
And the person we are going to be doing this on is the Beauty Queen Killer, aka otherwise known as Christopher Wilder.
Christopher Christopher Wilder. I love the name Wilder.
You won't after this. So we'll get right into it. All right. So Christopher Wilder, he was born in Sydney, Australia on March 13th, 1945.
Mm,
That's really old.
yeah,
How old would he be right now?
45.
1945. Like in his 80s or 70s or something?
Almost 40 years older than me. So yeah, 80s.
80s? Oh, yes, I guess right. Kind of. Okay, he was the oldest child of an American naval officer and an Australian native. So he was born in Australia,
Mm,
which is not what I expected. I actually came upon this guy because I watched a I watched a game on YouTube about it. It was like based on
a
the
game?
story. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, this is how I came across this. So I did a little digging and the game was pretty straight on or right on, whatever how you say it, I don't know.
is it like a horror game?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Not my kind of game.
Yeah. Um okay. Christopher was a sickly child at age 2. He nearly drowned at 2 years old and not too long after that. I think like a year later, he fainted from a fit of convulsions.
Oh, kind of like seizures.
Yeah, kind of like seizures. So he was a pretty messed up kid from the start, which was interesting. I feel like there's
That,
two different ways people become serial killers normally. Like they either grow up around horrible family
yeah,
members,
trauma.
yeah, or they're just sickly from the start. So this guy was clearly sick in the head from the start.
Lack of oxygen to the brain,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know what convulsions are, I actually got the definition for it. So, convulsions are a medical condition that causes the body's muscles to contract and relax rapidly and repeatedly, resulting in uncontrollable shaking. So, kind of like a seizure,
Yeah, but
but
not in the brain. It's more just the
the body.
physical body.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in his childhood years, he began to peek through windows.
Hmm. How
I
nice.
know, isn't that creepy? You just see somebody
Yeah.
just I have a window literally straight across. Just
Although if
somebody
somebody peeked up there, that would be a
uh
problem.
and
I
yeah.
mean, even if it was to the ground, but I'm just saying they'd have to go quite a distance to peek through that window.
Yeah, you have to have a whole ladder to be able to actually see through my window. When he was around 17, him and his friends were arrested for the gang grape
Hmm.
if a girl on of a girl on Sydney Beach. He pleaded guilty for his offense, but he got a year of probation and counseling along with electroshock therapy.
Oh.
And I'm saying grape, and if you know, you know. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna say that on here. So, um, the electroshock therapy possibly fueled fantasies of him with women.
Like,
Like,
I would just think it'd be like, oh, like
I
if it did
know.
wipe your brain or
Yeah, I
something.
know. It gave him fantasies of himself with women, which is really, ugh,
Yeah.
really gross.
Not what you would think. You would hope it would fry his brain from bad thoughts, but
Yeah,
guess not.
and probably not. I guess I don't
Oh,
know. Um, yeah, it. He actually had these fantasies while he was being electrocuted.
so more trauma.
Yeah, more trauma to add to his original
Mm.
trauma. I know, isn't that? Ugh.
Hmm.
At the age of 23, Christopher got married to a woman who then left him very quickly after finding out about his very dark, sensual fantasies.
Hmm.
I
Good for her.
no, honestly though, like, how do you? I just don't get it. How do you get married to somebody and not like know about that? Like,
I feel like back then they didn't take so long to get to know each other and date. They didn't date
oh,
for
that's
years and
true.
years and years. They probably were like, "Oh, it's been 6 months. We should get married."
I didn't really think about that because that people used to just get married off to other
Very
people.
quickly, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, or well, I mean, it's not an arranged marriage, but it's
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
And maybe he got comfy after they got married. So then he started to
Oh, yeah.
chat. Maybe he was trying to, get his wife to
Do the
do
things in
weird
his
things. So yeah,
fantasies.
and then she was like,
Ew.
"Peace out," which back in the day, good for you.
No, honestly, yes. Get out of there while you still can. I feel
Clearly a
like,
good decision.
well, yeah, it was a little bit harder to get out of stuff like that back
For
then.
sure, it would have taken her a lot more um, bravery to leave a husband.
Ugh. Okay. Oh, I got a text
Or you
from
just
Jesse. Hey, Jesse, if you're watching this. All right. Wilder, after avoiding more charges, moved and settled in Florida in the year 1969. Wilder brought oh, sorry. Wilder bought a home in Florida, began racing cars, and developed a hobby of photography.
You want to take some pictures?
What is with these fellas in
I
photography?
don't know.
Maybe it was just like not as common then, so it seemed very,
I know.
cool to be a
Yeah.
photographer.
No, in the game that I played, it literally like flashed back from it was like the girl's perspective.
Oh,
So it flashed like to her getting like
a
her
pi-
photo taken in a library. That's how they met this girl.
oh wow.
Yeah, they met in a library because he took a picture of her.
Hmm.
And he was like, "Can you help me move my stuff into this car?"
Are you stupid?
Okay, uh, if you give into that, I don't know.
Don't be so nice
I
these days, ladies.
yeah, don't.
No, sir, you can do it yourself.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Sorry, I actually broke my arm. I know it doesn't look like it." But, okay. Uh oh. He also went into real estate at one point, and in 1971, Wilder was turned in to the police for trying to get a woman to pose for photos. He was only fined for the offense, but then he was arrested again for trying to get a high school student to do things with him.
Hmm.
On uh oh, hold on. Oh, he tried to get a high school student to do things with him in a home that was being renovated.
Hmm. Perfect.
Isn't that kind of weird? How do you
Yes.
even get in? Oh wait. Oh, cuz he was oh my gosh.
I mean, as
My
we
brain's
know,
not clicking. He was in real estate.
yeah, and they have special locks they put on doors. Maybe they did then too to be able to get in and out of homes that you're selling.
Yeah, that's ugh.
Yeah, no thanks.
Absolutely not. The judge questioned his sanity and wondered if he was sane enough to even have a trial, which is kind of sad,
I thought you
to
were
be
going to say sane
honest.
enough to be a realtor. I'd be like, nah.
Well, at that point, I'd be like, yeah, you're fired from
Yeah,
everything that you're doing
revoked
right now.
revoked license
Yeah,
immediately.
exactly. Ugh. Um, he had some doctors and psychiatrists evaluating him after the last few offenses. 3 years later, Wilder, posing as a photographer named David Pierce, managed to lure a schoolgirl out of a Florida shopping mall, drugged her, and forced her to do things with him in his truck.
Mm,
Releasing her, the girl turned Wilder into the police, uh, but he managed to bargain the charges down to probation with therapy, claiming to have blackouts during his weekends.
convenient.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think you can negotiate now.
But did people actually believe that though? That's what's sad. Like people should have been better back then.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, we definitely have. Okay. On March 4th, 1984, 23-year-old 20
Tongue twisters.
Bro. On March 4th, 1984, 23-year-old Elizabeth Kenyon, who taught emotionally disturbed children at Coral Gables High School, disappeared in Miami, Florida. Hours prior to her disappearance, she had met up with her parents, and her father noticed bruises on her arms and legs. Though she stated it was from a schoolyard fight, that she broke up. Wilder, who was Kenyon's ex-boyfriend, became one of the three suspects in her disappearance.
Mm.
Ugh, it's getting spooky. But he was let go after alleging that he had not seen her in a month. However,
Mm.
another ex-boyfriend of Kenyon's, showing around pictures of her in an effort to find her, was pointed to Wilder's direction by two gas station attendants, and Kenyon's car was subsequently found at Miami International Airport, though no evidence had indicated that she had packed to go on a trip by plane.
Mm.
Kidnapping stuff low-key scares me
Yeah.
because it happens so often, which is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Police later classified Wilder as a main suspect in Kenyon's disappearance due to his lengthy rap sheet of sensual offenses. Later, they made a link between Kenyon's disappearance and that of 20-year-old Rosiero, I think it's Rosiero Gonzalez, who knew Wilder and shared several physical and professional attributes to Kenyon.
Mm.
Uh, A private investigator and a former police officer interviewed Wilder, who continued to deny seeing Kenyon, but a subsequent interview with his secretary proved otherwise.
Mm.
Getting scary. It's just crazy how much like serial killers and stuff get away or like got away with.
Mm.
Like you have to be some kind of psycho and you have to do some like research on this stuff to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's scary.
Yeah. Where their brains are at.
Yeah. On March 13th, during his 39th birthday, Wilder read a newspaper announcing him as a suspect in Kenyon and Gonzalez's disappearances and subsequently lied.
Mm.
The day after he left Miami, he picked up 21-year-old Terry Ferguson from the Merritt Square shopping mall in Satellite Beach, Florida, and killed her, leaving her body in a snake-infested canal where it would be found 5 days later.
Oh.
While while fleeing, he got his car stuck in sand at a state road near Converel Groves. I think I'm saying that right. And was able to successfully call a tow truck to get it out. So he got out of that kind of,
Jeez.
which is so annoying. Wilder's next target was 19-year-old Linda Grover, whom he took from a shopping mall near Florida State University in Tallahassee, taking her to a motel in Bainbridge, Georgia. He raped her twice and tortured her by electrocution.
How the heck did he do that?
I don't know, like, how the heck did he get that equipment? Ugh,
Goodness gracious.
I know. Um, when he became distracted by the television set, Grover fled into a bathroom,
Classic.
locked the door, and began screaming as loud as she could, startling other guests. Panicked, Wilder fled with several of Grover's belongings and went to Beaumont, Texas. Or Beaumont? 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 I don't know how to say words, guys. I lost there we go. Okay. Where he tried to lure out 24-year-old Terry Walden with a proposition in
Mm.
photographing on March 23rd, but she turned him down. 2 days
Good
later,
job. Good
two,
job, Terry.
I know, seriously. 2 days later, Walden disappeared, and her body was found 3 days afterward with multiple stab wounds and indication that she had been tied up with different types of grape. but no evidence of sensual assault.
Mm.
Man, she almost got out of it.
Yes, she did.
She almost got out of it. At this point, the FBI was called in to assist in the manhunt. On March 25th, 21-year-old Susan Logan went missing from Oklahoma. Well, from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, shopping mall and was found
Ladies,
dead in
go
the
in
next
groups
day.
to the mall.
I will never, ever, ever. I don't care where it is, how safe it is. I will never go to the mall by
Don't go to the
myself.
mall alone. Don't go
Just
to the mall alone. Just
and
don't.
keep your headphones off. Carry pepper spray with you.
Yes.
Carry something,
And say
please.
no if a man wants to take your pictures.
I think we've learned that from
Uh
this
huh.
point. I would hope. Okay. At the same time, 18-year-old Cheryl Bonaventura.
Squid in there.
It's a very long last name, so I hope I didn't butcher that. She disappeared from a Grand Junction, Colorado shopping mall.
Dun dun
Yeah, at
dun.
this point, Wilder's case received nationwide media attention, with everyone urged to be on the alert for him.
Or don't go to the shopping malls.
Yeah, not killing Bon Bonaventura. Wilder instead kept her as a hostage until reaching Las Vegas,
Mm,
Utah, where he killed her on March 31st.
mm,
Or maybe I should start saying unalived, but at this point I already said it. So,
mm.
the next day, on April Fool's Day, 17-year-old Las Vegas citizen Rachel Karfman disappeared. 2 days later, Wilder was placed on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list.
I
At
bet he is.
yeah, at the point, the behavioral science unit led by John Douglas created a profile on him, while media outlets dubbed Wilder as the beauty queen killer. So that's where he
Because he's
got
all young, beautiful women.
yes, that go shopping at shopping malls.
Goodness gracious.
I didn't even realize how many
Yeah.
times shopping malls were in
Yeah.
this until I'm like reading it.
Right. It seems like they'd see his MO and be like, hey, shopping malls. I don't
Yeah.
know. Don't go shopping unless you have a group of friends.
At that point, I would just hope that they should just shut down the malls at this point.
Serious.
Like, girls, no more shopping malls till we catch this guy, because terrifying. Around the same time, he was placed on the 10 most wanted list. Wilder, driving to a location north of Torrance, California, lured in 16-year-old Tina Marie Risico and assaulted her, but did not unalive her for the oh, for he believed her to be robotic enough to help him
Mm,
abduct more victims.
no.
This is where the game was. The game that I
Mm.
watched, it was from her point of view. So they
So
didn't
he
use real
was
names, so I found out her real name by
so he
this.
was trying to use her to lure other young women.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, which is just traumatizing
Mm-hmm.
for a 16-year-old
Oh
to
yeah.
do.
You're much more impressionable too.
Yeah.
And you're trying to save yourself. So you're
Yeah.
thinking it's helping you to be able to get
Yeah,
away.
but at what cost at that point? Like,
Yeah.
ugh,
That's
I
what um trafficked people are like
I
as well.
know. It's so sad. Um, Cutting her hair short allegedly to make her resemble a female character from the movies Flashdance. He then drove her to Gary, Indiana, and forced her to lure in Dawnette Wilt, also 16. Attacking her, he was able to grape her in his car while Risico, or I'll just say Tina, drove it. During their brief stops at Ohio and New York, Wilder tortured Wilt, or yeah, I said that, Wilt by electrocution and raped her again.
Jeez.
This is just so terrible.
The
Oh
guy
my
really got
gosh.
around.
Yeah, seriously.
Florida, all the way out to California, back
Indiana,
out to the
Georgia.
Midwest. And then the
Yeah.
East Coast, like, geez,
I know.
how
How
does he
are
have
people
this
not
money?
catching this guy at this
Well,
point?
and how does he have money to just drive all over Timbuktu?
Yeah, I know. Well, he did race cars, real estate. I feel like in real estate you do make a lot of money. So maybe he like
Maybe if you're
saved up.
selling stuff, you kind of ruined that chance.
Yeah.
Maybe he was selling lots of pictures. I doubt it.
You mind if I take some pictures? Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, gotta find where I am. I lost it. The next day, Wilder saw an appeal for Tina's return on the news, which prompted him to take them both to a forest near Penn Yan, New York, where he attacked Wilt. First, trying to suffocate her, but failing. Then, he stabbed her twice in the front and back and left her for dead. Surviving the stab wounds, Wilt wandered out of the forest and was found and taken to a hospital. Oh, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, near Victor, New York, Wilder once again forced Tina to learn another woman, 33-year-old Beth Dodge. Abducting her, he took her to an empty gravel pit where he fatally her in the back with a .357 Magnum revolver and disposed of her body in the pit. Ugh. He and Tina then abandoned the car and took Dodge's, seemingly knowing that the end was near. Wilder released Tina at the Logan Airport in Boston, Massachusetts, telling her that she'd rather not be with him when he died. Fearing for her life, Tina boarded the plane and arrived in Los Angeles, where she went to the local police.
Oh,
I know.
it's kind of crazy. They took the time to get her a flight and get her to fly home.
I
Can you
know.
imagine how awful that flight would
After you
be?
just
All the trauma and what you saw, and then you're on a flight around a
It's like,
bunch of
well, I'm just gonna
people.
go back to my hometown to tell my local
What
police when
kind of
he's literally here.
right? Yeah,
Like,
across the country.
yeah.
My gosh, that'd be the longest flight ever.
At that
But
point,
maybe there's a lot of relief too because she was safe.
yeah. No, I didn't. I think it said something about that in there, but I just didn't write it down.
Mm,
But okay. On April 13th, Wilder managed to lure in a 19-year-old girl from the side of a road in Beverly, Massachusetts, when her car broke down. However, when he threatened her with his revolver, she managed to escape when he was forced to slow his car down. Panicking, Wilder abandoned several items, including the camera he used to uh, authenticate himself.
mm,
Never heard that.
mm,
His suitcase, and objects he took from his previous victims, and fled to New Hampshire. At a Colebrook service station, just 12 miles from the Canadian border, Wilder attracted the attention of two state troopers. Some have stated that the troopers recognized his car from the descriptions given by the FBI. Others claimed that the troopers recognized the car from recent news reports, and some have even made claims that Wilder was acting strongly enough to warrant an investigation from them.
mm,
Pulling him over, the troopers approached Wilder, to which he drove into his car, apparently for his revolver. The troopers tackled him, but Wilder was able to get his revolver in time and fired two shots. And struck Wilder, well, one struck Wilder, passing through his body and wounding one of the troopers.
mm,
Leo Jellison, who had jumped into his back while reaching for the gun, in the chest. Oh wait. Leo Jellison in the chest with the bullet lodging in his liver.
mm,
Ooh. The other fatally hit Wilder's heart,
mm.
ending the 26-day long killing spree and manhunt.
Oh,
Yeah,
dramatic end.
I know. In the game, it did that too.
Really?
But it was a little different.
I was like, how do you make a game out of stories like this?
I don't know. But I could not play it. I would feel
Mm-hmm.
just terrible knowing that it's true the whole time.
Right.
Um, anyways, A number of items were recovered from Wilder's car, including the revolver, extra ammunition, handcuffs, rolls of duct tape, rope, a sleeping bag, his business partner's credit card, a
Mm.
homemade electrical cord that he used to torture some of his victims, and The Collector, a novel by John Fowles.
Mm.
I don't know what that book is on, but I'll have to look after. Maybe I should have done some research on that.
You still can.
That's true. After his death, it has been suggested that when the police began to close in on him, he had already decided to unalive himself.
Mm. Coward's way out.
Yeah, every time
When they're
when they know they're gonna get caught.
yeah, when they're off on a murderous rampage,
Yeah, which is
they don't
very
want to face
devastating.
any consequence of their crappy actions.
Nope. Um, but that he also wanted a final killing spree before doing so.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, they caught him right in time before another little killing spree.
Hmm.
Uh, Yet, given the fact that he went to California and then New Hampshire, it seemed more likely that he was trying to flee to another country, Canada.
Mm.
He had gotten fairly close to the Mexican border, but something must have made him decide to turn around and go back across country. It is believed that his intent to cross into Canada is unlikely, since he didn't choose a populated place to do so. But when he died, he was 10 minutes from the border. However, this would never be officially known. So
Mm.
that's the story of the beauty queen killer, Christopher Wilder.
Mm. Glad he's gone.
Yeah, I don't actually know well, I was gonna say, I don't actually know what happened to him, but it literally just said it.
He's gone.
I'm a little
Do you know?
sleepy.
I know, I am too. Do you know if they found all the women that he had
Um,
unalived so their families could have closure?
no, I actually didn't
Well, the
see
story was
that.
more about him and what he did
Yeah, it
than
was
the
more
women, but
yeah, it was more about well, I think they did find some of their bodies. I mean, obviously, because they
they
had to.
well, true. If they documented where they were at, then they know where they were at,
Yeah,
which is good for the families.
yeah. So that's the only thing that I know. I don't actually know all of who it was that they found, but for
Mm.
some of them, they definitely did, which is again relieving, but also very not relieving.
Can't imagine.
No, I don't want to imagine that
No.
ever.
No malls alone.
Nope. So I looked up what that book was, The Collector, by John Fowles, I think is how you pronounce it. But it was a novel written in 1963. It was a thriller novel. Um, the plot follows, well, its plot follows a lonely young man who kidnaps a female art student in London and holds her captive in the cellar of his rural farmhouse. So it was about kidnapping.
Kind of reminds me of the movie Kiss the Girls.
I've never seen that. I don't know. I don't even know what that
You
is.
should watch it. It's good.
Maybe not after this. I'm a little freaked out just reading this.
Mm-hmm. It has a similar line of the collector, but on a bigger scale.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
When did it come out?
90s, the
The
best movies
90s.
ever.
Actually,
Also,
some of them are
you
good.
gotta watch Double Jeopardy. I thought of that one the other day.
Is that
If you
about
know, you know.
some of this? Or what is
Um,
it?
Different. It's
Okay.
different. It's about a woman. They both have Ashley Judd in them. That's why I'm thinking about them. She was a big actress in the 90s.
Mm.
Um, Anyways, we can talk about it later,
Yeah.
but they're both really good movies, suspenseful movies.
I love a good suspenseful movie.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode on the What's the Big Deal podcast on the Thoughtless Thursday on the Beauty Queen Killer. I also want to thank my mom for joining us. I was so excited for her to be the first guest on here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and we will also be doing at some point more of a deeper conversation video on here on Serious Sunday. So stay tuned for that. If you guys like this video, go ahead and subscribe for more. Comment for other maybe true crime things that you have in mind. And also like this video, share it, do whatever to help me out here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this episode on our Thoughtless Thursday. What the frick am I saying?